All right, you read the title. Red Wings need to sell. I'm kind of over this season. I just don't know if they can make it back. I just don't know if they can bounce back. I don't see them. I don't see a way there. If I'm looking at the standings right now, if I refresh the standings, looking at where the wild cards are, and by the way, actually, I'm not looking at standings. I'll just tell you they lost to the Montreal Canadiens, who, by the way, are now ahead of them in the standings. Montreal, with the 2 wins they took over the Red Wings, put them ahead of the standings. They have the same number of games played, 33 games as the Red Wings, and now have 31 points in 30 games. The only team in the Eastern Conference behind Detroit is the Buffalo Sabres, who have a 13-game losing streak. That's how piss poor the Buffalo Sabres have been. And this is just in the last 13 games, right? Like, this is a team that has tanked, that wasn't a playoff spot at one point. They were in the third spot in the Atlantic for the playoffs. And now the Detroit Red Wings are, who have kind of started to coast, are now in that same territory. Buffalo is 4 points behind them, but I don't see like Red Wings. Okay, they have 33 games left. I'm just pulling out my calculator. I'm not even done an entry yet, but they have 33 games left. There's 82 games in the season, minus 33 games. That's 49 games. Okay, 49 games left. If they won every game to be at 128 points, right? They're not going to win. If they win half, if they went 500 the rest of the way, right, they'd have 49 points. That's 79 points. That is dog shit, right? YouTube's ending me in that, but it's okay. 30, so you're talking about a team that is now, okay, they can have 79 points. Okay, so how many points do they need, right? Looking at the teams that are in the lead right now, just in the Ottawa Senators, okay? Ottawa Senators have 38 points. So 38 divided by 34 times 82. That means they're going to finish with around 92 points, all right? For the Red Wings to even get 92 points, okay, 30 divided by 33 times 82, right? They're currently on a 74-point pace right now, okay? Just to let you know. So you're saying that this team has to get, at the current pace round, they have to get another 16 points extra out of that. Yeah, 16 points. 17 points out of this. You're telling me they gotta win 8 more games than they're currently on track to do. I mean, for the next 49 games, dude, I can't get over how lack of effort this is. And so, like, this is where I'm like, okay, you had a coach who did well last year. The Red Wings they're so close to making a playoff spot, and it was Derek Lalonde who got them there, right? And Derek Lalonde has done nothing but make the team better every year. And so none of the coaches have changed. The only thing that has changed is the personnel. And I will say this season is not on Derek Lalonde, in my opinion. It is on Steve Yzerman. And I've been a huge Steve Yzerman fan. The Jake Wallman deal, I mean, we can talk about that all day. I can't believe he had to give a 2nd-round pick for it. And now Jake Wallman got the fastest defenseman to hit 20 assists. He beat out Erik Karlsson. Fastest to get 20 assists. He's fastest since Erik Karlsson. So you see, like, he's in conversations that Erik Karlsson's being talked about. And you got David Perron, who's not having a great year, but is now, like, you see that the Ottawa Senators are finally starting to pop off. Ottawa Senators in the second wildcard spot. Let's pull up the stats for David Perron. I know he was struggling earlier in the season, and he is still struggling. He's got 9 games, 0 points. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's up with him. I mean, I can even look it up. But for me, I'm like, Calgary looks hot right now. Ottawa looks hot right now. In their last 10, they're 8-2. Holy smokes. Talking about a team that finally took a step ahead, because we were looking at Detroit, we were looking at Buffalo, we were looking at any of those teams to take a step. And you know what? Buffalo was like, yeah, we'll definitely take a step. They got into the third spot in the Atlantic. Like, yep, this makes sense. We're good. And then they dropped off like a freaking rock, which is crazy. I don't know why they're dropping this fast, but they have $10 million in cap space right now. Just to let you know, $10 million in cap space that they can work with right now, and they can pick up a player. Red Wings, by the way, have, pulling this up, I think they have $5.7 million to work with. Yeah, they have plenty of cap space to work with. So why aren't they using it? Like why aren't you trying to pick up a player that you can use in this case? Perron's got to be injured, right? At this point, he's got to be injured because there's no way he's not even on this. I don't even see him right now. Is he in the? No, he's not bought out. Of course not. I'm pulling this up right now. All injuries. He again, Perron 9 games. He has to be only one that's injured, by the way, is Jordan Greenway. But you know the thing is that in my opinion, Perron's kind of now your your Ryan Reeves type. He's the guy that kind of get your team motivated. He's going to fight for your team. If you want him out there, like he will fight. He can produce. He's not doing it right now. There was some vibes to this team. This team had some vibes and they had the ability to like kind of get up for games. And that was with the swag of Jake Wallman, right? That was David Perron was looking phenomenal last year. Like he was performance wise, no, but everyone said they loved playing with Perron. Like there's just like, I just don't know what the big difference is. Like, and you replace that with a Tarasenko, who is a Stanley Cup winner, who should know how to win a Stanley Cup. Do you know who else knows how to win a Stanley Cup? Patrick fucking Kane knows how to win a Stanley Cup. And I'm like, okay, where's this guy going? He's now starting to pop off, right? He's now starting to decide, hey, maybe I am a first overall draft pick. I mean, also talk about Steven Stamkos in that sense too. But if you look at like the whole time he's been here, Kane right now, 14 points in 28 games, half point per game player, not good enough, man. Like this is not the Kane that we had him at almost half a point last year, and now we have this. It is half we were at almost point per game last year. Now we have half point per game Kane, and that's a big drop off. And he had this summer to like actually like recover and learn how to train relearn how to train and actually train, because last season he came in November because he got his surgery on his hip. So I'm like, okay, he's got to be better. Now I will say there's a couple bright spots on this team, but I don't want to hit all the negatives because we will hit negatives. If you want to stick around, we'll hit the negatives. Lucas Raymond looks phenomenal. He's playing so well. He's on track to be his current pace right now from last year, 33 points in 33 games. Love to see that from the kid. He's shooting like a 19%, which isn't sustainable, but he's having a phenomenal year. Dylan Larkin is historically unproduced or not producing at the level that he should be. He should be around a point per game player. He's getting paid like one. He needs to. He's a captain. He needs to lead this place. I'm glad Raven's popping off, but Dylan Larkin needs to step up. I mean, he does. He's playing okay, but he needs to step up. And you're a leader on this team. That is the part where I'm like, okay, with a David Perron, a Jake Wallman, a Shane Gostisbehere, who again brought so much swag he brought so much confidence and swag to the back end. Mind you, supposedly the rumors were that he didn't want to sign with Detroit because he wanted to have it he wanted a team that was a little bit closer to a Stanley Cup, and that was they've had the Carolina Hurricanes, who by the way are looking phenomenal in the third spot in the Metro, so right behind the Washington Capitals and the New Jersey Devils. God, Washington Capitals are so freaking good right now. It's infuriating. I'm so happy for them. I'm also so mad at them. They're plus 39 goal differential. The one that's beating them is the Winnipeg Jets, and they have 1 point ahead of the Washington Capitals in more games too, in 2 more games. So by points percentage, Washington's doing better. But I'm looking at this Red Wings negative 19 point goal differential. Excuse me, you were a glass cannon last year. It would be, I mean, I don't remember the goal differential, but it'd be a 5-6 game. It'd be a 4-5 game. These games were high scoring, and you're not lighting up like you should. And you know what the cool thing is that you're actually getting great goaltending from these guys. You're getting phenomenal goal. Even really Husso was bouncing back, dude. Husso somehow brought, so his save percentage is still down, but Husso in the last couple of games was looking good. Like he was. And again, it's not looking good right now. And then you have Costa, who came in, who played well. He played a half a game. He played really well. Played about three. Yeah, he played. Oh yeah, because he has 45 minutes of time on ice because he played the 5 minutes in overtime. We had 2 periods. He looked good. Numbers don't show it, but he only let 2 goals in, and that was the second period. And then the third period, he shut it down, which looked really nice. Alex Lyon. When he's had some off nights, but he's still running 900 save percentage, 894. It's not great, but it's Alex Lyon. Again, you're paying $900,000 for a guy like him, and that's fine, right? And then Cam Talbot, honestly, snubbed for the Four Nations, in my opinion. I think Eisman was kind of like, hey man, you're not getting Cam Talbot. He's too old. He needs the rest. Okay. To try and bounce back because he's got a 914 save percentage. If you look at the team at the season, like I'm going to pull up the standings extra as well, like this stats, because I'm pretty sure he's in like top 10 in save percentage right now. If we go to save percentage, he's almost there. He is top 9. He's tied with Logan Thompson of the Washington freaking Capitals. He has more games played than same games played as Thompson with the same save percentage. He's actually let in a similar goals in as less. No, right? It was less. But like that's what I'm saying. Like he's saving much better. Like dude, I just like you're getting this phenomenal goaltending from Cam Talbot. Who, by the way, teams are gonna want him. Teams are absolutely gonna want him. Because they're like, oh man, he's playing really good goalie. You're like, yeah, absolutely. Like you want him. I just don't know what you do to help like survive in this case. Because I'm just furious. I'm looking at this. I'm trying to look at the scene. I'm trying to make sense of this. I'm looking at these pieces of the puzzle, and I'm like, how do we move things? Can we switch things around? Like does Raymond? You don't have Raymond on the fourth line. Like well, that doesn't do any good, right? Like who you promote? Who's earning the spots, right? Again. Going to Larkin. Larkin is underperforming 26 points in 33 games. Alex Brinket, 35 points in 35 or 25 points in 33 games. 25 divided by 33 times 82. He's on a 62 point pace. That's about where we expect DeBrincat to be, around a 65 point pace. Great. Like DeBrincat is performing to expectations. Again, Seider's playing. Seider has 25 minutes per night. 25 minutes on average per night. That means he's playing more than 25 minutes per night on most games. Phenomenal. He is killing it. By the way, he's the only one with he's the only one with a plus minus. Yeah, he's the only one with a plus minus. Luke Raymond has -2. I know plus minus is a stat, stat. Dylan Larkin has a -4. DeBrincat's a -9. DeBrincat, get your shit together. I mean, he's a power play merchant. He's turning to be. And then Comfer is a 0. Kane's getting walked, -8. And so, and there's of course there's guys throughout the lineup. Kopp is playing really well. Edmonton looks so good too. And you're getting a great year out of Edmonton. He's from rookie numbers right now, but like he's playing so well. Actually, I lied. Edmonton actually leads the team in plus minus. Like he's actually a +5. When I said Seider's the only one with a plus, I meant of the like prominent guys at the points percentage, or at the in the points like category. So I just like I'm like who's going to be here long term and who is hurting the team? To me, I am so again. Listen, I cheer for every player on this team. I want who would you say is I want Tyler Mott to be the best fucking player on this team. Tyler Mott, who had his 2 goals, by the way. He had a great goal against Montreal on his Friday game. It was sick. And I want Tyler Mott to be so freaking good. I want William Laxton came in for last game. I want him to be the best AHLer coming up. I root for this team. I root for them. I want them to thrive. I want them to be a good team. Did you know Eric Gustafsson has played 9 games this year? He is turning into the Justin Hall of last year. By the way, speaking of Justin Hall, looking much better. He is looking so much better this year. He's in sheltered roles. He's playing third pair D, but that's what we wanted him. We wanted second pair D. We wanted Petrie as third pair. We want Hall second. It's not working out. It's fine. It is what it is. Petrie's playing second pair. But to me, right now, the Red Wings have. We'll start with D, because goaltending, we pat on the butt. They look good. Good job goaltending. Seider, you're doing phenomenal. Sweet baby Seider, keep it up. Don't change a thing. You're doing so good. Edmonton playing so well. You're playing so hard. But he's missed a couple games now because he keeps getting hurt. So currently, Edmonton is 13 points in 30 games. 13 points in 30 games. 3 goals, 10 assists. Playing over 20 minutes a night. Good job. Fucking phenomenal. You again, Eisman, the nice thing about him is he's hit on every one of his first round picks, which is like the minimum when you draft is like hitting your first round picks. Like that should be like if it's 30th overall, 32nd overall, you should hit because this is a guy like it's the guy you of all the people you've looked at, like you got to be able to draft like top 32 guy. Like you be able to find a really good guy in that like in the draft. Like it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard to find one good guy in the draft. And the first round pick is like so much easier because they're so like crazy scouted and everything. And Edmonton is looking phenomenal. I'm so happy with it. Okay. Marco Kasper, he's getting up to speed in the pro game. I think it's a little outpacing them right now. I think it's hard. It's an 82 game pace with higher level competition. It's his first year. It's okay. 28 games, 7 points. It's fine. Like he's playing bottom six right now. Like it's okay. I actually think he might be nursing something too because he does look a little slower. But to me, I think he's doing okay. He's doing just fine. Again, it takes time. In my opinion, Edmonton's exceeding expectations. Marco Kasper is probably meeting expectations about where I'd expect him to be, right? You know who's not meeting expectations around right now? Is Jeff Petrie. Some of the defensive faults of him are crazy. Like it is crazy. And the thing is you really can't, there's only so many guys you can scratch in this team, right? You're not your top pair of Edmonton, Seider, you're not scratching because they look phenomenal. The only reason that Edmonton's out of the lineup right now is because he's hurt. He's probably not going to play Monday either. And so you're looking at a team like, so now you have Sherratt coming up on the left side, right? So now it's Sherratt, Seider, which didn't work out last year. So why do you think it's going to work out this year? I don't know, but he is the best defenseman outside your two young guys in Seider and Edmonton. And he plays the left side. So then you have, okay, your second pair. You have Petrie on the right side. It's Petrie or Hall. They're the only other two right-handed defensemen in this team that are like on the team. And so Petrie is playing better than Hall, and Petrie's more offensive than Hall. I get it. Defensively, definitely lacks. And Hall's a little more defensive, but you see a little bit of flair. I think Hall is a third pair D, be great. Petrie's a third pair D, great, awesome, lower competition. Petrie's playing too high in the lineup. He is a third pair D right now, which is fine. He is an NHL defenseman, absolutely. He's just not a second pair one because the guy's second pair is now like people in the top four of the Red Wings or in the league. Like, you know, like falls into like let's pick a random team. Pick a random team. Let's go. We're just gonna look at top four stuff. Pick a random team. Let's pick a mid team. Let's go St. Louis. St. Louis is a mid team, right? They are currently St. Louis is out of the playoffs. They're 3 spots out of the playoff. So a mid team. We're going as a mid team. Go to their depth chart. Let's go to we're gonna check out who defense are. Who's playing defense? Okay. You have Cam Fowler, Colton Parayko. That's top pair. That makes sense. Then you have Ryan Suter, 39 years old, and Justin Falk. Justin Falk, 9 points, 33 games. Justin Falk he's playing 23 minutes a night. That's phenomenal. Do you know Justin Falk has had great performances? He's 32 years old, second pair right D. Last year, 30 points, 60 games. The year before that, 50 points in 82 games. Playing very well. And then look who brings it up. You have Broberg and Scott Perinovich, like guys that are younger. And by the way, Broberg, 12 points, 22 games. That's awesome. That's awesome. Petrie defensively is killing me. He's killing me. Let's go to Petrie. Let's look at Petrie right now on the lineup right now. Petrie, 6 points, 29 games. He's playing 19 minutes a night. And I'm just like, and he's playing some penalty kill too. Which I get if Seider's in the box or something like that. I understand with Seider. We're putting out Petrie right there. But like to me, I'm like, okay, let's pick a different team, right? Let's go to not St. Louis. Let's go. There's a mid team. Let's go. You want to go Islanders? We can go. Let's go Seattle. Seattle out of the standings. I think. Oh, Seattle's right below St. Louis. Great. Seattle. Let's go with them. Ceattle. Seattle. We're going to theirs right now. Vince Dunn, Adam Larson. Great top pair. Vince Dunn has been hurt for a bit, but he had 11 points, 15 games. Then they have Jamie Alexiak. Great defenseman. Great defensive defenseman. They extended him recently. They did not extend him. I apologize. But either way, they brought in Brandon Montour as their second pair. 13 points in 34 games. or no, 13 assists. Sorry, 21 points in 34 games. Phenomenal. That's beating out Seider, who's playing top pair minutes. He's playing against the hardest competition. Evan Riker on their third pair is half a point per game player, 17 points in 34 games. What? Like you can get production out of your second pairs? Yeah, your third pair? Like that's phenomenal. What? Okay. Where is that for Red Wings? Gustafsson? Oh, I misread this. Gustafsson had 9 games. Gustafsson has had 25 games. By the way, Gustafsson, your second power play unit, defenseman, 5 points, -11. 16 minutes in a game. Justin Hall, again, not a huge point getter. 3 points in 25 games. Justin Hall's never been a point getter. I mean, dude, oh my God, if I pull up history, dude, this is in the roast Gustafsson so far. Again, I'm over Gustafsson right now. I'm so over him right now. Because looking at Hall, with the highest points in a season, he's been at 23 points in 69 games in 2021. Gustafsson, again, your Shane Gustafsson replacement, the almost point per game player that scored. You're looking at a guy who, with the New York Rangers last year, 31 points in 76 games. So you're looking at, under a half point per game player, but 31 points is phenomenal. He's currently on track to have like 20. Not even 20. Okay, Justin Hall, like again, not expecting if you're having as good a production as Justin Hall by 2 points, it doesn't scream, man, this guy gets it. He's gonna fill this gap, right? I would rather just overpaid Shane Gostisbehere by a shit ton, and then like you can figure out the Seider stuff later. Like that was the point, right? You can move guys, and supposedly for the defense to try and prove it, they were gonna look to pick up Jacob Trouba, and I'm pretty sure they were trying to move Jeff Petrie. I think they were ended up moving like Petrie and like Veleno or Rasmussen because they have higher cap hits. Like let's say it was Veleno. Yeah, you could have made it work. It's something like Veleno. Petrie, that would take up $4 million. I think they had $4 million cap space because they had moved out the Olimata trade at that point. So they could check out Trouba. Is Trouba worth $8 million? Absolutely not. Is Trouba where would Trouba rank on the Detroit Red Wings? Third best defenseman, maybe fourth with Schropp. That's how good Trouba is. He's just not good at $8 million, and that's why the Rangers moved off of him. Now, is he better than Johansson? Rookie. Johansson is his first year in the league. I'm not expecting him. I want him to play more sheltered minutes. He's not getting the opportunity because he's having to stick up for other guys and play in their spots. So that okay, so Johansson's played 16 games, 1 point. Again, only playing 13 minutes a night. He's supposed to be playing third pair. He's supposed to be easing to the NHL right now. He's not being because he's getting put out there because they're like, oh, we got to try and switch something up, right? Yeah, Gustafsson. I don't know why it says Eric Gustafsson only has 9 games here. ESPN is wrong. We're going Puckpedia. There's a Puckpedia on this. So, okay. What are we doing here, guys? Like, what's the plan? Like, who are you going to trade for a defenseman? Like, what's the point at this point? Like, I don't have the confidence. And I don't think it's a coach thing. I just don't think it's a coach thing at this point. It definitely is a coach aspect in the penalty kill. I would be okay with them letting someone go and bringing in someone up as the interim for the power play, which is power penalty kill, which is a Bob Bugner part. I'd be okay with that. But so overall, I just don't know why. I don't know what the goal is. Let's look at this team standings real quick because I know their power play was great. Power play still sitting at 9th, right? Penalty kill, 68 or the 31st in the league. The only one that's losing to is the Islanders, who are 32nd in both of those. I'm pretty sure. Actually, let's recheck just to make sure because I'm very sure the Islanders were 32nd in both because that's what they were most recently. Yep, 12% of the power play. Holy smokes! Like Islanders are doing dog shit. And you lose to the Montreal Canadiens, who parlayed your losses into their wins and stepped like, excuse me, we're just gonna step over you real quick. Thank you. Now, and the reason I'm talking about this, I'm gonna wrap the defense up because we're gonna go in the and after we do commercial breaks, we're gonna run into the offense, and there should be some changes for sure. Petrie is done after this year. I think I'm okay with letting him go. I don't need to re-sign him. Justin Hall, Keep him, ride him off another year. I don't mind him. Again, I don't mind him as third pair. That's fine. Johansson, give him another year, I guess. Give him another year contract. Give him like $850,000. Like, no big deal. Like, he can be again a seventh pair, and if he pops off and starts to fulfill his role, great. The nice thing about Johansson is he can play the left side or the right side. He's better on the left, but he can play both sides. Similar to Sherratt. Gustafsson's got to go. Gustafsson's buy him out or trade him, move off of him. That future considerations that you sent with Jake Wellman and the second round pick, like maybe you can use that future considerations with San Jose and say, hey, can you take this off my hand, please? And does he have like? Let's look at Erik Gustafsson. I don't think he has any. I'm gonna look at his contract status. I don't think he has some trade protection, but not a ton. He has zero trade protection, so you can move him at any point. Send him out with here's a consideration. He'll have $2 million left. Here is a 4th round pick and Erik Gustafsson. Here you go. By the way, he shoots left. So here you go. You got a defenseman. You have for next year, this year, or you have for next year. That's Gustafsson. It's just not a fit right now. He's just not fitting. I don't know if and I just saw too many defensive blunders, and I'm just like, I just don't see the fit. And also, you have next year, I think it's pulling the Red Wings. Pretty sure that there's a couple guys that have their ELCs coming up that they might want to like bring up, like a William Molinder. Like, actually, we'll pull up defense right now. So you have Antti Tuomisto. He's young, right? But he shoots right. Emil Viro. I don't know if they qualify him, but like you can bring him up. He's young. He shoots left. There you go. Okay. So Tuomisto takes over Petrie. For Emil Viro, he takes over for Gustafsson. And now instead of Gustafsson playing PP2, you have Edmonton play PP2. You have Seider play PP1. Great. By the way, Tuomisto, I'm pretty sure can score. Let's look up. Let's look him up. Let's look at what he has in the AHL with the Grand Rapids Griffins. Currently, 12 points, 24 games. Phenomenal. Half point per game. Sweet. That's it. Done. Like, great. Like he got last year, he had to get sent down to the ECHL, getting his game back. I think he got hurt at one point. Did a little stint down there. 6 points, 5 games. Came back. 24 games, 12 points. Awesome. Like, wash your hands of it. Done. Now you'll have a Justin Hall, a veteran. You'll have so your pairs will look like Seider, Edmonton. Great. Sherratt, Hall, or Sherratt Tuomisto. He's young. Try him out. You have a Viro, Hall. Okay. Who's left? Because you move off to Gustafsson. And Johansson. So Johansson goes. So you'd have a Johansson, Tuomisto. Yeah. Hall, Sherratt. So you have Edmonton, Seider, Sherratt, Hall, Johansson, Tuomisto, and Vero's your extra. Boom. Done. By the way, that's how you do it. If you need to move them around a little bit, that's fine. Maybe you try, or you switch them up. Let's say, I know Edmonton, Seider, that'd be a phenomenal pair. On the top pair, maybe you try a Johansson Seider. Try it out. See what happens, right? And then you do a Edmonton Hall. Sherratt plays third pair because you want to protect Tuomisto. Great. Or move Tuomisto as a dude. There's more. You have young guys here, and you start pushing towards that. You start pushing towards young kids. Get guys that Yzerman has actually brought in. Do you know who drafted Tuomisto? Yzerman. He drafted him in 2019 as in the second round. That tells you that he is he's an Yzerman draft pick. And I think that's something to Yzerman draft pick. His pro player scouting, not great. But Tuomisto is a 6'5" right-handed defenseman. Put him in, coach. Put him in. That's the defense. We're going to go over the forwards. But this is the 8. Again, sell. I'm so over this season. I don't want the guys to try. I'm just don't know if this is the right mix. And you know what brings life to a team? Young kids, because they're hungry. Do you see Casper? He's hungry. He wants it. Edmonton, hungry. Seider, hungry. Raymond, putting out and showing what it's like to actually have a little bit of effort in this team. Hungry. Like, that's what you want. We're gonna jump into a break. We'll come back and we'll catch you in like a couple minutes, and then we'll hit up the offense and we'll head out for the night. You know what that sound is? That's the sound of ice skates skating on the ice at your favorite team's hockey game. You know, there's nothing like the excitement of being at a game, the crowd, the energy, the roar, the chants, the songs. It's just so much to it. And the best way you're going to be able to find an amazing seat and an amazing game is going to be at Game Time. Game Time also has this new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff and shows you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. And my wife and I were actually end up going to a Detroit Red Wings game on December 2nd, I believe it is. That's the one that we're looking at, and talk about a super deal. And you can actually find any concert tickets there. You can do comedy. There's so many different options there. They also have curated deals to make it easier to find the best deals on great seats. And also you can see the view of your seat before you buy. You have a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection as well. One thing I really enjoy about it is the all-in pricing. Toggle this feature to show the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. So you can also get a panoramic, again, talking about your view, it's a panoramic view. You can see the sea, not just like we're looking at the stage. You get the full panoramic view. And they also have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And so take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. The 24-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started at DraftKings Sportsbook. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. And of course, if you're listening to this, you're probably a Red Wings fan. You can definitely bet the puck line, the total, the money line, how many goals are going to be scored, over or under. Example is most of them are coming up is at like 6. So you can be like over 6 goals or under 6 goals. I mean, you can get all the action at Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers. Get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit cpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive award. Bonus bet expires 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice. Okay, jumping into the offense now. I'm just reading. By the way, welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. I'm Brad. Here I hear a bitch about the Red Wings. And so I just read a fun stat on Bar Down. It says players with 1 2-point game. Do you know who one of those players is that had that tonight? Is Peter Kochetkov. Coochie, as they call him, is the Carolina Hurricanes. He is a player with a multi-point game. He's a goalie with a multi-point game. He's the only one in Kane's history to have a multi-point game. So he has 2 assists. Do you know who else only has 1 multi-point game this season? Or 1 2-point game this season that is on the Red Wings? Vladimir Tarasenko. Now you're talking about a guy who was brought in to score. He was here to be a scorer, right? You wanted him here because you wanted him to perform. And we're going to pull up his stuff real quick. Let's go to Mr. Tarasenko. Of course, is my My stuff freezes. I'm going to try this. But Tarasenko, well, actually, we'll look up the NHL stand. We'll put up ESPN instead. Tarasenko has 12 points, 32 games. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? You are a known goal scorer. A known goal scorer. Vlad, get your shit together. You signed for $4.75 million. For 1 year? No, for 2 years. You signed this 33-year-old to a 2-year contract because you thought, hey, this guy can shoot. This guy can score. Now, and look at this, by the way, with the Ottawa Senators, the bad Ottawa Senators last year, in 57 games, 41 points. That's 0.8 goals or 0.8 points per game. So that's basically 2.5 points every 3 games. That's basically what it is. And then so 5 points every 6 games. It's kind of where you're at. And then went to the Panthers. Panthers are dominant. They won the Stanley Cup. 14 points in 19 games. And then in the playoffs, let's go to the playoffs with 9 points, 24 games. It's about what he's performing now. He's actually performing worse now than he was in the playoffs back then. So, looking at him now, again, 12 points in 32 games. Actually, it's about what he's playing on the playoffs. By the way, playoffs last year with the Florida Panthers, playing third line. This guy has had 34 goals, 33 goals, 33 goals, 39 goals, 40 goals, 37 goals. St. Louis Blues, he was doing phenomenal. When he's playing, plays phenomenal. Never put a point per game player, but really, like, he can score. He can absolutely score. And so I'm just wondering, like, can you please? Can you start? Can you figure it out? Like, what do you need? And I will say, the one thing I like about Tarasenko, I saw this, and maybe this is where I'm starting to see, like, I don't need to move off him because, again, who's going to pick him up? Who wants a Tarasenko at $4.75 million? Even if you retain, what are you going to get back for him? He's just not performing. One thing I like is, like, he did a play with, and this, again, I'm a sucker for this. And I know I am. But Tarasenko, what he did is he ended up, he had a play with Casper, and he threw his arm around him. Something happened that Casper screwed it up. Throws his arm around him, kind of talks to him, kind of points out some things, and I'm like, that's good leadership. That's good leadership. It's what a good veteran does, right? Again, you're underperforming, Tarasenko. Get your shit together. Let's move on to the next one. Let's just kind of rip through some of these because I'm okay because I'm ready to rip these guys a new one right now. I don't know what you got to do to get me in the locker room, but I'll fucking punch people, dude. Let's fucking go, dude. Looking at well, actually, I'm gonna go to Daily Faceoff right now because Daily Faceoff has the most updated Red Wings lines right now. And so I just want, because right now I'm saying that Rasmussen is okay. So they also have Rasmussen right now. That's fine. They currently have Rasmussen playing. Puckpedia has Rasmussen playing top line. Ras never been a huge point getter. He's not a huge pinpoint getter. I'd say Rasmussen, $3.2 million, about playing up to expectations. I like the diversity with him, Dylan Larkin, and Raymond on the top line. I like that. I think Raymond brings the passing and scoring. Dylan can also pass and score. Rasmussen gets in the dirty areas. He stands in front. He can tip it. He's learning his role. Is Rasmussen part of this team long term? I don't think so. I think someone's going to call Rangers or like Vancouver, or someone's going to call up and they say, we really like this guy. And by the way, the bummer is Rasmussen, great vibes guy. Supposedly everyone last year wanted to play with Rasmussen. Because they were like, everyone's like, I want him on my line. So it shows that his good vibes, his good play, good effort. Rasmussen has good effort too. Not the skill necessarily to match it, but he has really good effort. And that's huge. Okay. Moving on to the second line now. Right now, currently, let me check out daily. We're going to cross the game with so this Daily Faceoff has a little bit more of a realistic one. We're talking DeBrincat, Kopp, and Kane. So you're looking at a DeBrincat. We talked about him. He's performing about what we expect. So I'm not going to really roast DeBrincat. Would I like to see more goals? Yes, but he's already at 13. And he's tied for most goals on the team with Raymond. So I'm not going to roast him too hard on that one. Again, he's doing even. He had 12 goals or 13 goals, 12 assists. So like, I don't mind that at all. So I won't give DeBrincat too much. I'd like a little bit more, but again, it's about what I expected from him right now. Let's see 13 points. Let's see what his goal base is. And if I have much to complain about, times 82, the 32 goal base. I'd be happy with 32 goals. I'd be totally happy with 32 goals. I think it'd be great. And I mean, again, 32 goals, 62 points, awesome. I'm definitely okay with that. Andrew Copp, 14 points in 33 games. Performing, I'd say Copp is performing better than he was last year. I think Copp is not a second line center. He's a third line center. They paid him as though he was going to be a second line center, and he is not. So I think that they paid him too much. I thought the contract when they originally signed him was a shit deal in the first place. So to me, I think at the end of this year, can you buy out Andrew Copp? I think at the end of this year, that's a consideration. I was going to say buyout Hall, but I think you're better off buying out Copp. I'm pulling up right now. I'm pulling through Puckpedia, the buyout calculator right now. So it would cost you. So right now he has $10 million. It would cost you 67 or $6.7 million. And it would cost you $4 million next year, $2 million the year after that, $2.6 million a year after that, and then you get cap savings the 2 years after that. You actually get money back. So, or no. I lied. I apologize. It would only cost you 1.5 this year or next year, and then it cost you 2.9 the next year. But the cap's going up, not a huge deal. It's going up by a lot too, and then it's like 1.6. Great. I'm sorry, Cop. I'm so sorry. Again, I root for this team. I root for every player on this team. I didn't think Cop was the right fit for this team. I thought it was too expensive for a third line center. I think they tried to make him a second line center. It was not the right move, and that's okay. It's okay if a guy can't be. You know what? There's a reason I don't play in the NHL. It's not my role. There's a reason that Cop is not playing top line center. It's not his role. He's can fill in, but like even when Larkin was out and hurt, do you know who took over top line center? It wasn't Cop. It was Joe Veleno. They went from fourth line to first line because he has the speed to do it. Cop doesn't have that same speed. He has more of a defense. Like I think, in my opinion, he's more of a defensive mindset. He's never been a huge goal getter either, right? So I don't know. I don't feel bad about this. Like I just think that there's roles, and I think that Cop is one of those people that you got to move off of. Okay, talking about like Patrick Kane. Again, we talked about him. He's got 1 year left. At this rate, I think you sell on Patrick Kane. You retain half. He's got signing bonuses at the end of the year. I think where Kane, because of his name, he's got a no movement clause, right? A full-blown no movement clause. So to me, if he's like, I'm going to New York, I want to go to New York, and that's it, you might get a third round pick for him. Fine. I think there's a bidding war, and he wants to go to multiple places. And there's an opportunity where he maybe goes to Toronto. I mean, Toronto would be great. I really want him to hit all the original 6 teams. So I'd like to. So he's already hit Chicago. He's hit Rangers. Boston. I think Boston would love him. And Boston is. Let's see where they're at in the standings. Currently, they are in the 3rd spot in the Atlantic. So I'm sure they would love him. And it'd be a lot of fun for him. I think he'd have a lot of fun with it. I think he would thrive well. I think he's a good locker room as well. So to me, Patrick Kane, I think unfortunately you got to sell. And again, I liked him last year. I thought he played well last year. I just don't know again if the fit's there right now. I just think the vibes are off, and I think Kane isn't the leader who changes the locker room. I think he was last year. There was a lot of sparkle. And I felt like, ooh, like shiny new toy that we've all wanted. He's the easy bake oven that you wanted when you were a kid. You're like, this is so exciting. You're 33 years old. I'm using his, he's 36. You're 36 years old. You always wanted an easy bake oven when you were younger, right? Oh my God. Larkin talks about how he was growing up watching Patrick Kane as one of his favorite players. Oh, I totally get it. He's a great American player. And then you get him, you're like, this is so cool. We could have Patrick Kane. Oh my God, this is amazing. You see what he did? You see how he blows his nose? It's amazing. And then you're baking with your easy bake oven. You're like, oh, this is so cool. And then you're like, a couple weeks go by, you're like, I got a big oven. I don't need an easy bake oven. I have a big oven that makes stuff. And then you're like, I don't know. I'm not impressed anymore. And I don't think the guys are impressed anymore with Patrick Kane. And that's okay. I think Kane is not having a fun time either. Kane hates losing. I don't understand why. Because Kane's a high caliber player, and you currently have him on like the second line. He's been playing first line for his whole time, right? Like he's been like, I think he's a 100-point guy before. Like he's a Stanley Cup performer. He is a phenomenal player. Again, it takes nothing away from him. He's a phenomenal player. He's just not working out right now and not working with the vibe of the team right now, right? He's hit 110 points before, 110, and he's in 106 before. Before in his second last year with the Blackhawks in 2021-22, in 78 games, 92 points. It's over point per game. Even last year, the Red Wings, 47 points in 50 games, almost a point per game player. And this year, he's played over half the games, and he's got less than a third of the points. Okay, like if he were to keep pace with his stuff last year, he had to be at like 26 points. He's at 14. Okay, so he's gonna have 2 points per game for the next 24 games? I don't think so. Actually, that's about what he needed to do just to meet he needed to have 2 points per game for the next 24 games to meet the production of his stuff last year. It's just crazy to me. Again, Kane, I respect Kane, phenomenal player. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to bring a young kid in, right? Tarasenko, we talked about him. JT Compher, he's fine. He's having a bad year. He had a better year last year. He's got 60 points, 32 games. Again, I think he's not a second line center. I think he'd be a good third line center. I think he's better than Andrew Kopp. So to me, I think he's better. I think he's fine. You got him for a little bit longer. Buying him out is a lot harder. It's a lot more expensive. He's having a bad year. It's fine. I think again when you get him, you bring in a Nate Date, you bring in so I think the center should be Larkin next year. Larkin, Kasper, Compher, Danielson. Let Danielson start to earn his way up. I think Danielson eventually becomes the second line center. Kasper takes over third line center, and Compher can be fourth line center. Be a veteran player. Love that. Again, JT Compher is not there yet. And that's not there as a team that's trying to be a Stanley Cup contender. I don't want playoffs. I want Stanley Cup. I don't want to be sneak in, losing get our ass whipped in 4 games. I want full blown, we're going for it and really trying. And I understand this is a step process here, but I want to full bore go for it. And we're talking about, again, going to the lineup. In a Compher and Tarasenko playing on Tyler Mott. Tyler Mott, by the way, revelation, 800 grand for him. He's almost 30 years old right now. He's only at 2 points, 20 games. Energy guy. He was injured earlier in the season. Energy guy. I think he plays phenomenal. He's a little water bug. He makes a lot of mistakes, unfortunately, but he's high effort, right? Put him in the bottom 6, high effort right now. I think he's just fine. I think he'd be better even like on the fourth line, but I think he's just a little water bug. He's so entertaining, honestly, very entertaining for 5'10", and he moves and he just shakes and he's trying to juke you a little bit. And he's just a good energy guy. He plays well with Rasmussen with that sick goal the other day. Ras set it up really well. But again, I think he's fine. He's a fringe player at this point. Like he thinks he's from Port Huron. He's from Michigan area, so it's nice that they signed him. But he probably took a discount to come here. But again, I just don't think he's not the mover and shaker that we need him to be. He's 12 minutes a night guy, which is fine. Joe Veleno, again, talking about low minutes guy. He's 11 minutes a night, 6 points in 29 games. For 11 minutes a night, that's not terrible, by the way. Making $2.3 million essentially. I think it's another guy you probably move him over the summer. Or you can keep him. Honestly, I'd be okay with keeping Veleno. Let's see, who do we move off? Who do we move off of this contract? Move off of this forward group right now? Well, Tyler Mott, I think, will be gone. Maybe he comes in as a fourth liner. Maybe. You keep Tarasenko because I don't know if you can move him. Hopefully he bounces back. You move off of. So really, it's just Tyler Mott at this point. Oh, and Kopp, Mott and Kopp right now. So you're missing a center. Well, that takes over. That's Danielson takes over for that. Mott. Who do the Red Wings have in their? Let's go. We'll go Red Wings. We'll go to their contract. See who's coming up in the AHL. AHL currently have Elmer Soderblom. Great, done. There's your Tyler Mott guy. And by the way, he's got like 8 inches on him, so that's fine. Elmer Soderblom comes up. Cross Hannes' contract. I don't know if they qualify him. He's had some injury issues. I think they just let him walk. I think honestly, in the crazy thing, he's a second round pick from 2020. You'd like him to work out. I just don't know if he will. Maybe you sign him to a league min contract and then you waive him and see if he clears waivers. But currently he's 11 points in 28 games. As a forward, you want to see more out of him. You just want to see more. And so I don't know if they qualify him. We will see. Moving on. Okay, so again, for Tyler Mott, that is boom. Elmer Soderblom takes your spot. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Goodbye. You have center for Kopp takes over. Danielson. There you go. Jonathan Berggren. We'll get to him in a second. Veleno, fine, keep him. He's a center. It's fine. He's fourth line center to me. Marco Casper, okay, you're moving up. Good, awesome. We talked about centers before. That's fine. Berggren. I think the relationship between Berggren and the Red Wings is expired. And to me, what you need to do is, again, I'm going to pull up the Detroit prospects, see who else is coming up. This is so you have Snively, you have Austin Watson. Like, your young guys you're going to bring up, maybe you sign a Cross Hannes. Maybe, right? You're right you end up probably letting Cross Hannes walk. You bring up Elmer Soderblom, who, again, he'll be a fourth line guy. He'll be a grinder. It's fine. This is where you bring in a UFA at this point, and on forward, right? And I think you move out a Berggren with a Joe Veleno or a Michael Rasmussen, and you can fill those guys in with UFAs at that point. And you also have a Christian Fisher who can fill in. Like, you can re-sign him again for another year. Maybe he'll only be 28. So you probably sign him for another 2-year contract instead. I don't know. He's not a huge point getter. He's more of a penalty killer. 4 points, 29 games. But again, he's a good fourth liner. He's a good fourth liner. And again, he's a good energy guy. So you sign him for 2 years at like $1.5 million. Cool. Done. You get it done. And then you trade out Berggren, who I think is value next year. And with like a Joe Veleno, maybe a Michael Rasmussen. I'd rather trade Joe Veleno. I think Ras brings a different aspect to it, especially how desirable he was to play with last year. I think Veleno wants to go back home to Montreal, or again, I think similar to Berggren, he wants a different opportunity. I would think a Calgary would look really good for him. I think that'd be smart for them because they're young players. Joe Veleno is a center, so you could try it. You can try him out at center. He can be that middle six center that they're looking for. Again, not a huge point producer, but I think with more opportunity, I think Joe Veleno is better than the opportunity they give him, in my opinion. But I think he would thrive more in a system that they emphasize offense a little bit more. I think Joe Veleno, it's similar to like Matt Barzal on the Islanders, where Barzal would be like a point per game player every year if he was playing on the Islanders. And so, and Joe Veleno, if he was on a different team, he'll be 25 at the end of this year. He'll have a year left on his contract. Like, you trade him at the trade deadline for somebody, like, I think it'd be, and that has like that you can like keep. I mean, maybe not even forward. Maybe you trade out and you get like Rasmus Anderson. Like, you do a Jonathan Berggren, a Joe Veleno, a first round pick for Rasmus Anderson or something, and a second or something like that. Like, you can do something creative here. I don't know. I just think there's so much surgery that needs to be done, and then again, changing out a coach is not going to do anything to this team. You have a team that just, you know what? Let's talk about coaching tomorrow. No, let's do it now. Let's do it now, and I can bring it up tomorrow again if you need to. Derek Lalonde, if you fire him, then you need to replace him. Who are you going to bring in on the outside? Well, you have Jay Woodcroft. He's young. Do you want to bring another coach who doesn't have a ton of head coaching experience? No, you probably want to bring a veteran. So Jay Woodcroft's out. Gerard Gallant is doing stuff with the one cup, Spangler Cup. So he's with his like world champion stuff. So he's out for the rest of this year at least. So again, we're talking about this year because the contract ends at the end of this year. Joel Quenneville, no, he helped cover up the sexual assault issue in Chicago with Stan Bowman. So no. Gerard Gallant's gone. Joel Quenneville, Jay Woodcroft, those are like the big names out there right now. So you look at teams that, like other teams that have head coaches who are veterans, right? Like maybe Andrew Burnett, like, who is probably gonna get fired from the the Nashville Predators, who did a really good job with the Florida Panthers, took them to the Stanley Cup Finals, and they brought in Paul Maurice, and he won the Stanley Cup. But Andrew Burnett has been to the Stanley Cup Finals as a head coach, so that's an option, right? Like, there's just maybe it's not him, but there's other options in the summer because guys are gonna get fired from now, right? Like we saw that with Jim Montgomery, gets fired by the Boston Bruins. 5 days later, St. Louis Blue, boom, immediately. So something like that happens where you get a coach who gets let go. Like, I don't know. I don't know the coaches offhand who would be available because I don't know who's going to fire who. Luke Richardson, actually, I actually liked him as a coach, but Chicago fired him, and I don't know if he's too new. You want a veteran coach. I love Tortorella. I don't know if he's the best coach for it. I just love Tortorella because I think he's got a lot of heart. So then what do you do? So let's say you still fire Lalone. You move one other guys up. Okay, who are the Red Wings coaches? I'll tell you because team info. Let's go. We have. All right, we're gonna start from the bottom and go. So we got Derek Lalone. I'm gonna go over the ones that we're not gonna pick, and I'll tell you why. You have Derek Lalone, and you have Jay Lalone's gone. Jay Verity. I don't know who he is. He would be a new head coach. Again, we just talked about this. You don't want another new head coach. No. Alex Tanguay doing a great job with the power play. He is an option, but he's never been head coach, to my knowledge. So at least not in the NHL, he hasn't. He's never been head coach in the NHL. You want to do that again? You already did it with Jeff Blashill. Didn't work. You did it with Derek Lalone, first time head coach. Didn't work. Okay, you're like Bob Budner, who is in charge, I believe, in the penalty kill because he was brought in. That's why the penalty kill looked so good last year because he had a great penalty kill when he was head coach of the Sharks. And that worked really well. Again, he brought the system over to here, and now it's not working. With a penalty kill that's 31st in the league, I don't want to give you more responsibility because you're not with what the responsibility we're giving you, it's not working. So I don't want to do that. And again, at this point, like I think it's just if you're going to try and go for a better draft pick, which I think they should, because I've already been saying all year, this is a rebuild year. Last year was a fluke. It was very exciting. It was some of the best hockey I've seen in a long time. But to me, it was unsustainable. And so I just don't see Bob Boughner being the answer either. So I think you ride it out. You maybe bounce back, but the guys got to pull them out themselves. I don't think a trade's coming really. I don't think Eisman wants to because he's like, I built this. I brought the guys in that you need. If they're performing, like, well, I'm not going to fire the guy that I brought in too. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not distrusting the Yzer plan. There are aspects of it for sure. Absolutely. I think some of his UFA signings are dog shit. I think the whole scouting staff when it comes to pro scouting needs to be fired because it's not working for sure. But that's just the solutions. Like maybe you sell on Lion, bring Husso up. You can also honestly sell a Husso, retain for half on him if someone will take him for like a third or a fourth. And then you have Costa come up, which would be sick, or you have like Campbell come up. Maybe I don't know how I don't know how well he's playing down GR, but he was a NHL goaltender at one point. So there's a capability there. So those are a couple of things that I had. We hit defense, we hit goaltending, defense, offense, and coaches. Let me know what your thoughts are. We've talked a little bit about the prospect pool, right? But let me know what your thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe. I love you guys. I love this team. I have so much respect for this team and so much like I'm so mad. I'm disappointed. I'm not gonna say I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. I am mad. I'm disappointed. And I think if you accept the direction you're going, it's better than trying to have people say like, what's, like try and have people explain it away or try and make themselves feel better about it. It's not going to work. And I'm ready for them to say, okay, we're not going to do anything. We're going to ride it out. Same with Buffalo at this point, like kind of like what Buffalo's doing. Like there's something, this team is something. Like there are aspects here. They played well last year. There are aspects here that need to start stepping up. There are guys that need to start stepping up. The young kids are stepping up, but we need to squeeze blood out of a stone or whatever the saying is. I think there's absolutely option to be able to do that. So let me know what your thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe, put your favorite emoji down below. I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening. And if I haven't told you, happy holidays. Love you. Bye.